That's fun. Okay. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Connection Economy. I'm your host, Mark, and this is the show where we sit down with actual humans who are leveraging LinkedIn to create real opportunities. We're talking about new clients, new deals, and new doors that they never saw coming. Today's amazing guest is Angela Buccellato. Buccellato. Got it.
See, you got
Angela
it. Like
Buccellato.
gelato.
Yeah, I like the gelato. That's guys. I asked her how to pronounce her last name before we started, and then I messed it up. Good times. Today's guest is Angela Buccellato. We're gonna talk with how she got started on LinkedIn, the moment things that actually clicked into place for her, and what she's doing right now. But before we wrap up, she's also going to leave you, our loyal listener, with two things that you can do right now to go level up your LinkedIn game. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm so happy you're here. Could you do a quick introduction? Because the people I interview for this do a lot of different things, and so I'd love to just what are you doing, or how is that showing up? Who are you showing up on LinkedIn as? What version of Angela, or how do you want us to know about you?
So I've been through a journey on LinkedIn. I know we'll get into the nitty gritty on it, so I won't spoil it for now. But essentially, I come from recruiting and I work the corporate gigs where it's you got to be a certain way, you got to talk a certain way, look a certain way, do all the things like any corporate job, right?
Got to do the things.
Yes. And I saw people getting active on LinkedIn in 2018, 2019. I'm like, maybe I should do this and figure it out. So from lots and lots of years of figuring out what my value is, what do clients like me as, and honestly, quite literally working on how I want to show up for others, it all came back to be myself. And I know that sounds so silly, but it's true. Where when I was fired from my position, I was like, I got to show up for people like corporate Angela. Don't swear, use big words, be this person. Don't share with people. You love Frank Sinatra and Edgar Allan Poe, and you are the spooky and Halloween's half your personality. Don't do that. And now I'm like, be yourself. So where my day job is, I own the Resume Rescue, soon to be the Career Rescue, on a rebrand coming soon. But I show up for clients to help them figure out what they want to do next. So my joke is I'm a career therapist because I have 2 psychology degrees. But thinking about showing up on LinkedIn as yourself is what gets it going. So I just got off a LinkedIn coaching call prior to joining our session, and it comes down to just being yourself. So I show up as people as you get this, Angela, my partner, my friends, my family, my clients, you get it. This is what you're getting.
It's the same Angela.
Exactly.
By the way, corporate Angela doesn't sound very fun. Regular Angela.
She wasn't fun.
Regular Angela is the best. Corporate Angela, she doesn't. She sounds
boring.
like she's not fun at parties.
She wasn't. No.
That's so good. Phenomenal intro. Okay, let's get into it. So that I kind of break this down kind of over 4 sections, and I like to start with where did you get started? So you touched a little bit about this, which was the recruiting space. So you started in corporate recruiting. You did recruiting for small companies, big companies, Amazon, Google. When did you start to see LinkedIn from being a tool that you were using to help source candidates to something that you were using for yourself?
So back when I had mentioned the 2017, 2018.
Which feels like ages ago in LinkedIn years. In
it
LinkedIn
was.
years, that's dog years, right? That's 70 years ago.
Yes, there's
LinkedIn.
dinosaurs were in the background. No.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but in recruiting, they're always be on LinkedIn.
Right.
Find people on LinkedIn.
Sense.
So I'm not a social media person. Call me the worst millennial in the world. I've never been a social media person. I remember Friends when Instagram came out, whatever, I was in college. Be on it. I'm like, I don't care. Nobody cares what I'm eating or what I'm doing or what I have to say.
Yeah.
So 2017, bulk into recruiting, getting into technical recruiting, which requires you to know people. It's not always just the job boards.
Right.
So I was looking at my efforts of, okay, let's post what's going on job-wise. Let's just try it out. Once a week, I think it was. And I think I had set a goal for myself. I wanted to be at 1,000 connections/followers by the end of the year, full year, January 1 to December 31st. I wanted to be at that. So that was my goal I set for myself. And I didn't want them to be all just random people I added, but people I have either met or like what they're doing. So when I started doing that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And it gave my candidates, so the people I was recruiting for, credibility. So it's,
Yeah.
okay, you're a real person, real human with real thoughts. So I like this. And
Yeah.
whether you're a job seeker or or corporate person or even entrepreneur, it's just like, what is behind the scenes? What's behind the website? What's behind the corporate jargon? Who are you at the core of your essence? And
Yeah.
that's where LinkedIn's a great tool to show that. So when it transferred over to talking more personal, I was fired. I call it my second birthday, September 16th, 2019.
Wow.
Before that, I was in a miserable job. Cried every day. Partner at the time was like, I love you, but if you don't quit, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Fair.
Like, fair. So 2019, I go to Italy. I have this Eat, Pray, Love trip. And I'm like, why am I stressing about a stupid job and crying and having health problems because of it? I come home, I was fired, like right away. So I'm devastated. I'm like, oh my gosh. I go home. It was like quite literally, boss walked past me, got fired. And I've been a high performer my whole career. Same company voted me most likely to succeed when I started from my whole group of across, 35 locations of my training group. So that just snippet of that.
It feels a bit cruel there.
Yeah. So I had the resume rescue started. Like I had the domain, I had the website, I had the logo, just like little baby steps. And I called partner at the time. I called my mom, sobbing. And I was like, okay, we're doing it. Resume rescue, we're doing it full time. So I went on LinkedIn. I said, I finally had the push I needed to take this full time. So my ducks were in a row with that. And then I remember deciding come December, and I was mortified I got fired. Mortified. I was like, I'm going to get fired. So then I started thinking about how many other great people have been fired. A lot. Fun fact. So I decided December, with the holidays coming up in 2019, I'm going to tell people I was fired. I'm going to put it out there to the world that the real ones knew. All my friends knew. The right people knew. But I was mortified. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell people. So I did this post that said, as we come around the holidays, no matter what you celebrate, remember your loved one should be first. I missed so many events, so many milestones, or would walk out of dinner because I had to take meetings because I was apparently curing cancer from the work I was doing, recruiting people, and it couldn't wait till the next morning. And I thought I had to do that. So I missed all these milestones.
So, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Hello. Got to live up to it. But I remember saying, like, I put the post together, I shared it with a few people, and I'm like, what do you think? They're like, and my mom, I remember you're really going to do it? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to do it. Okay. I support you, whatever you want. And my mom's a business owner and such, so she gets the mentality, right? So I posted it, and that was my first post that got some traction.
Yeah.
And it turned into just people telling me how they were fired. So I'm like, okay, we dipped our toes in the water.
Yeah.
I touched a nerve. So then I'm thinking, and what was really pivotal for me, I had a dear friend, Nick, who deserves all the love in the world because he was my first LinkedIn friend I met.
Nice.
I slid in his DMs, and I was like, he was offering, I think, free marketing coaching for small business owners in return to be a guinea pig for his program. So I'm like, yeah, I need this. I don't know. I'm marketing. Help me out.
Yeah.
So he was pivotal in the thought process of you get to be yourself. And he was pivotal and bullied me into starting my podcast because I was too nervous to do that.
Love it.
So we're friends 6-7 years later, just went to his wedding in May.
Oh, nice.
So it was just like he got me out of the thought of, I'm sorry, who's your boss? Who's telling you what you can and can't post? I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So just thinking about and being really cognizant of what people want to see or what people resonate with. And I was like, nobody's on LinkedIn being real. It's all this, I hired the person that no-showed to the interview 3 times. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
But that was the big start that created the monster in me of what I am today.
Okay, so just what a journey. Who knew that Eat, Pray, Love was really a story about LinkedIn? I don't think Julia Roberts or anybody else in that film knew that, but it's a LinkedIn story.
It is.
Okay, so in a job you don't like, you were leveraging LinkedIn. You were posting about, like you said, like what's going on in the job market, and that was just kind of like generally like, hey, I'm putting out this content to be helpful to job seekers. That's where you got started, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was more with the audience being people I would recruit or find jobs.
Right.
So that was a lot of it.
Yeah, it was a way to get their attention or to like be useful to them. And I talk a lot about that with with guests on the show of like, hey, like, and you get it. We've talked about this. Is like, hey, like, be useful, provide
Right.
value. Your content should be something that people can take action on. So that's where you started, and then the firing moment came, and you're like, hey, I'm going all in on me, and then LinkedIn was part of that, right? So we do the fire post, the personal post. What did the first couple like posts, weeks, first couple weeks and months look like after that on LinkedIn? What were you doing from there?
So I remember, 2019, and I'm in Metro Detroit, we were going to Chicago for a Roaring 20s New Year's Eve party. So I remember it's pouring snow, and this was like a memory that always pops up where my phone's just blowing up. My inbox is blowing up.
Really?
And I don't know. I'm a baby business owner. This is the first time I've been like, 4 months into it now.
Yeah.
And we're in early January, late December. I'm like, okay, this might be something. We should
That's
do
cool.
this. So it was kind of navigating the conversations, and I had such a great experience of sliding into Nick's DMs professionally. And I was like, okay, maybe I should keep reaching out to people I like, or
Sure.
being more cognizant of what do I like? Who are the celebrities I like? Who are the pages I follow? Who are the sportscasters, professional athletes that I enjoy? And the reoccurring theme to me was I like people who go against the grain,
Yes.
and I get inspiration from the underdog story.
Yeah.
Always have, always will. Always
Yeah.
my favorite story. So thinking about those and having more conversations, because I offer free consultations and still do, of just, a lot of people have been fired, and some of my favorite people were fired. So now that I'm looking at it, what is it, Murphy's Law, that it's once you see it, now it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
These few months were really interesting, and then I got overwhelmed, and then throw in the pandemic, 6 months later.
Yep.
So then I was crazy. Then it went insane
Oh, I'm
because
sure. Yeah.
everyone got laid off March and April.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what was going on. So I'm working 15-hour days. I'm like, this is not sustainable. I can't keep up with it. So then I stopped posting because I just didn't have the time, and was like, I need to get back to posting. So it actually led me to my first hire I did in August of 2020 was from
Nice.
a LinkedIn post that she found me. And 2 of the 5 employees I've had have come from LinkedIn posts. Or
Oh,
3,
wow.
3 of the 5, which
Okay.
is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So just thinking about it and seeing how that kind of changed over time.
Yeah. Okay. So started posting 2017, 2018, 2019, go off on your own. 2020, world turns upside down. We're living in the upside down. Fast forward to now. So you have like over 22,000 followers. You got tons of connections. Like, when did it really, so you mentioned the moment in Chicago where you're getting, messages and DMs and stuff. Like, was that the moment, or was there a moment after that where it was like, this is shifted on LinkedIn for me, that this is working what I'm doing?
I will say a few moments.
Okay.
So 2 moments that stand out for me. I had someone complaining on LinkedIn about, and we still get them to date, but I think it was like 2020 where someone had shared they weren't getting traction, weren't getting on the resume, they were desperate for a job, whatever it was. So messaged them and I said, hey, you want me to help? I'm just happy to help you, because I was charging close to nothing, which if I could shake other Angela and tell her to charge more, that's a whole other conversation for another day. But I reached out, and they were taking forever to get back to me, and was just one wording me. I'm like, I'm trying to help you when you're sitting here complaining. So I made a post about it. She didn't know it was about her, but I made the post. I'm like, don't sit here and complain about you're not finding a job when you're not doing the work.
Yeah.
So that post was my first one that hit, I think, 50,000 people.
Whoa.
So
yeah.
that was a small taste. So then people are in my inbox like, I could use help and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to charge for these things. So
yeah.
But I didn't have the system set up. I didn't have a scope of work. I didn't have any of the technology. My CRM was a Google Sheet. So
Still works.
Baby business owner. Right.
Yeah, I love that term, baby business owner.
Yeah, just a baby. So that happened. And then I'm realizing as I'm commenting on people's posts or sharing some of the stories of the horrible leadership, and I like to say a trauma bond with clients, being underpaid for being the only woman, having one boss mansplain to me a company that, and like laughing in my face at 21 years old, and made me feel like garbage. So then I start telling these stories.
Yeah.
Yes, good times. So I start telling these stories, and my first job I quit, I had a boss, the president of the company, write a nasty email about me saying, because I was like, tell me where I could go in management and I'll stay. But you can't because everyone is going to be here till they die. It's just a fact. Everyone's old. No one's
Yeah.
dying anytime soon. There's no clear progression for a 21-year-old me. And I want leadership eventually.
Sure.
So he sent this nasty email about Angela feels she has no ability to go into leadership, and not at all what I said, to the point where I had VPs and everyone like, oh my gosh, that was so wrong. That was stupid. He's the worst, blah, blah, blah. So I saved that letter. I always saved it. I screenshot it. And I just found it actually today on accident, funny enough. So good timing. But I shared that on LinkedIn, and I don't tag the companies. I'm not calling people out. I'm not here to stir drama. Just saying this was sent out about the company. So, of course, I'm getting a ton of traction because people that worked at the company know and were laughing. And that was a post. But the one post that really went crazy for me, I always say post when you're super, like your extreme emotions. So whether you're angry, whether you're super happy, post on those days.
Yes.
I've
the spicy takes.
Spicy takes, yes. That was my term. Mark stole it, just saying.
Yeah, that's an Angela patent pending.
Angela
term.
original, yes, no. But the spicy take, as we had discussed, was I had 2 clients that were fired from their jobs. One fell on the job, had to have 4 ankle surgeries, like crazy. And she eventually got let go. Michigan's an at-will employer state. Other client had told her employer, her new employer, like, hey, I teach yoga on Thursday nights. I have to be done at 5:30. Reasonable.
Yeah.
So they both were fired same week. So I was pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I've been fired. So my take, as we talked about the spicy take the other day. So my first take was, let's normalize getting fired. So that's the draw in.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't a groundbreaking post. It really wasn't. It's if you want to look at it, it's featured on my LinkedIn profile. You're going to read through it and be like, really? This is what did it? It hit almost 9 million people.
Oh my gosh. That's
crazy. It was insane. So that was the point where I went from, I don't remember how many followers.
Do you remember when this was? Like year was?
2024. It was actually around this time, 2024.
Okay.
So
like 2 years
honestly,
ago.
probably close to year to date of right now, funny enough. So June 2026, but it was
9 million? That's a lot of people.
Almost 9 million. It was at 8.5. So it's blowing up.
Yeah.
And I'm in this Goldman Sachs small businesses program. So my employees are like, yo, that post is going crazy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I posted it and then put my phone away.
Yeah.
They're like, the phone's ringing off the hook. Our inbox is flooded. Our emails I can't keep track of. And I'm like, okay, what did she do? Yeah. So that was the point that it really changed for me. So it's really what it comes down to is it's never the post you plan out and you're like,
right,
this is going to do great. This is such good. Nope. I did that because I was pissed. I did that. I think it was like a random Tuesday or Wednesday, early afternoon. And it's when people are always like, you need to post on this date and this time and this many times. I don't care. I've had posts go crazy 8 p.m. on a Friday, 6 a.m. on a Saturday. Doesn't matter. So that post was definitely what took me, and I forgot how many followers I gained off of it, but it was a few thousand.
Sure.
I got, that's what took it. So it's been an interesting journey for sure.
Yeah. You talked about being a career therapist, and I can kind of see that playing out like in your content, right? Like,
yes.
I think it's so important to have like a focus. You don't have to be like only talking about like one thing, but a focus of like the direction of your content or like how you're helping people. And I think that like, especially for like, helping people with like new jobs or finding new careers, career therapists are like, hey, we're going to talk about this. But we're going to talk about all of it, right? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, how to do it right, how you shouldn't do it. That's obviously touched a nerve. That's really cool. So moving from that to like all the different things that all the different ways that you can help people. So resume writer, recruiter, career coach, LinkedIn strategist, podcast host, ding. How do you manage all of it? But like, how do you think about what to put in front of your audience or like when you're sharing what you're working on? Like, how do you manage and juggle all that?
So
asking for a friend,
right?
Yeah.
So it's really what's helped me, whether in a LinkedIn lens, client lens, entrepreneur lens, is just listen to the people. What are they asking you? What do they want? So it came into taking the questions I get on free consultations, taking the questions where the old aunties and unks are just like, what do you do? Or trying to explain it. Sure. I knew I made it when my grandmother, rest in peace, could explain what I did. I live
Nice.
in her condo now, but she has so many of my business cards, and she used to get me business all the freaking time because she could
Nice.
speak to it. So she knew the
Yeah.
buzzwords of, oh, you're miserable at your job. Talk to my granddaughter. Talk to this.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest piece of when the elders could understand it, and
The elders.
even the elders or
The boomers.
the boomers could understand it. She was not a normal boomer,
No,
which
she
was
wasn't.
even funnier. But or even listening to what my cute little friends' nieces and nephews would
Yeah.
say. So it's just, oh, that could be a cute post. And something that hit a chord with me of, and we've talked about the grimy LinkedIn posts, the cringy ones that you're like, I say when you roll your eyes at them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know I'm not going to be that, but people care about what you do.
Yeah.
So I take what clients say and I just turn it into content. So I have a few that I need to post.
Nice.
I will get to it, I swear, on my to-do list for today.
There you go.
But some of the content was centered around what questions do I get asked. So one post that also did was literally taking all the reasons people worked with me or were looking for jobs. So it was
That's such
not
a simple
groundbreaking.
one. I talk about that with
Simple.
like local businesses. I'm like, look, what are the 10 most standard questions you get from your customers? Write about that. Like, if that's the 10 most things you get asked about, like, people care about it. And if you take one post and write all 10 or 10 posts and write each one, like, you're providing a value and maybe even saving yourself some time by just being like, hey, you have a question about this? Here's how to solve it. It's not that hard.
It's not. And that post I did, it was just straight form. It said, it's okay if you don't go back to work after having your first kid. It's okay if you quit your job without a backup plan. It's okay. All these scenarios, there's probably 15 of them. That post got me, I think it was 11 clients out of it because it hit the nail. It hit home to people. And that's what you have to do with your content. It has to hit home. And I'm not doing articles. I'm not long-winded posts. Sometimes if I go on a rant. But it's just the human element. So one of them that did well of a picture of me in front of the Golden Gate Bridge when I was on vacation and said, here's your reminder to use your PTO because you can't take it with you. Not mind-boggling. I mean, my favorite, I think I had told you this story too, but the most engaged with poll to date I had, not what you think. It was, if we're Harry Potter fans, I hope some of you are. So if you're not, there's Hogwarts houses in Harry Potter. 4 houses. So that's the big thing of what Hogwarts house are you? So I'm at Universal. I'm in Florida on vacation. And I posted a poll. What Hogwarts house are you? Do you know that is still my most engaged with poll to date? I don't know, 8 years later.
People
it's
say,
like, really, guys?
You got a lot of Hufflepuffs out there?
We had a lot of people arguing in the comments what they were. And then I'm Slytherin here. But there was a good mix of people. And some people like, what is this? So either way, it's still getting engagement from people wondering what the heck the Hogwarts houses are. Half the people are fun arguing in the comments, but again, that's getting engagement, more comments, more engagement. Like, that's great. So
it's like part of the water cooler has moved to like that. There is acceptable stuff to talk about on LinkedIn. That's not, here's an actionable tip or here's what I learned. It's like, what would you, if like you and a couple of your coworkers were, around the water cooler, what, like, if you walked up and said, hey, what Harry Potter house do you guys like? People would be like, oh, I'm Hufflepuff all day. I'm Gryffindor. Like, that would incite a conversation. And so you can have that on LinkedIn as well. It doesn't have to be, here's 10 tips for a resume. Okay. So I want to come back to one thing. Of course, you're Slytherin. I want to come back to one thing.
Thank you, I guess.
About being direct and not sugarcoating things and like the real Angela. Like, Angela is the same Angela no matter where she is. For some of us, and I think I include myself in that part, like, you not always want to be like that same person or like have the spicy takes on LinkedIn. So like, what would you recommend to that person who wants to like be more real or just share kind of more vulnerable stuff? Like, one, would you recommend the Angela approach for everybody, or there are those who would be hesitant to, and what would you say to them?
So I think it's where you are. The coaching I do on the LinkedIn strategy is, I get it. I'm a full-time business owner. I get to say whatever the heck I want because I'm my own boss. I get it. If you're looking for a corporate job, you can't do that. If you're in finance or accounting, or you have a role that you have different approvals and compliances to follow, I get it. You can't do that. But even if it comes down to what we always get asked as business owners, podcast hosts, anything, who's your ideal client? Who's your ideal listener? It's like, thinking about who that person is. And I had to come to the realization, it's not I can work with everyone. I can. For what I do, I can work with anyone. But it came down to I love, on a simple, non-professional level, I love really cool people, got a little tinge of sarcasm, a lot are neurodivergent, and just know they need help. They just don't know where to go. And they ask a lot of questions, and they're most likely people I would be friends with, and many of my clients have turned into friends, funny enough. So that was the message I wanted to give, and that's where that kind of came into play of understanding what that would be. So it's like you really have to think about it, but there's no perfect plan. There's no, here, Mark, here's a perfect day to post on LinkedIn. It ain't happening. And even on those tough days, like I struggle with depression and anxiety, fun ADHD, my trifecta here, I like to say. So I don't want to show up every day. I don't show up every day. Said grandmother I was talking about, she died suddenly last year, and it was months, and it was very traumatic. And like our whole world was like turned upside down. So yeah, I wasn't posting on LinkedIn. But when I was like, I know I need to do this, the business is suffering, I need to get on it, I shared what was going on. I was straight up, this is what's happening in my life right now. This is devastating. And then when she did eventually pass, I actually wrote her obituary. So I shared that, and I linked it back. But I framed it in a way of saying I was so blessed to be able to spend 3 months with her at University of Michigan Hospital. My mom and I were living an hour and a half away pretty much, like first name basis. All the crew in the hospital, all the crew at the hotel knew us. So I shared that on LinkedIn and said, you haven't heard from me because of this. And the only reason I felt compelled to do that was people were messaging me and texting me, like clients.
Are you
and
okay?
Others were like,
haven't heard
you
from
good?
You.
Like, you still alive? So I'm a really big proponent of mental health. I think it's super important. So some of my posts will talk about that. December's always traditionally the worst month of the year for me, maybe seasonal depression. I don't know what it is, but I talk about mental health more, or what feels right. And if you're trying to figure out like your messaging or what you have to do, you just have to rip the Band-Aid off and see what goes well. I did not go into that 8.5 million view post like, this post is going to do well. And none of them that have done well did I say. It's the ones that don't do well that I'm like, this was genius. Why did this not do well? And get upset about it. But now I don't. So it's understanding what you are. I hate toxic positivity. That's not my thing. It works for others, not for me.
Doesn't work for anybody. No.
My cousin loves it. She does. That's her whole personality. It's fine. It works for her. She owns a CrossFit gym. It's cool.
All right.
It's on brand.
It doesn't, it doesn't work for me either. So
Exactly. Most people I talk to, it doesn't work for.
Yeah.
But it's, what do you want to see? What are you seeing? What good conversations are you having? So when you're thinking of content, like March, I always have great content because Women's History Month, I always go to a ton of events every single March.
Yeah.
So I'll take pictures of events. I'll take pictures of opportunities. I have a whole camera roll right now of content, and it doesn't have to be what you're doing currently.
Yeah.
You can recycle it. So you're not going to find your voice until you just rip the Band-Aid off and do it. So I highly recommend having an accountability partner to it could be a friend, parent, whoever that is going to hold your butt accountable to post, or just bully. I like to say I bully people into doing it, and bully by the most loving, supportive bully you've ever had. Gently bullying. Yes. So it's been really interesting. And part of the story I should have brought up when you asked about the starting off, what really hit home for me was I was back in my hometown, and I live a half hour from it. So let's be clear. It's not like a small hometown, Rochester. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And I, for whatever reason, ran into 3 different people I had gone to high school with same day, all different scenarios. And every single one said, oh my God, you're killing it on LinkedIn. Oh my God, I see you on LinkedIn. And none of them engaged with my content, but they saw it. So that's been the realization, or people I haven't talked to in decades referring me business, or it's now to the point, which I feel honored of, I don't even know who that person is that referred you to me, but I'm thrilled that they found me. And it all resorts back to LinkedIn every single time.
That's powerful. It ties together a couple things. One, I love just the guidance of like, show up where you are. If that's vulnerable, if it's, triumphant, if it's whatever. I think the type of content that we don't like to see is where people are bragging, and it's like just like too much. Like you can be proud, you can be confident, you can share success.
Absolutely.
As like business owners or people who are like helping others, you should remember that your customer is the hero of the story, not you. Like the ones that feel gross are like, I'm the best and I did this and I'm humbled to do that. Like, all right, like
So true.
next. Or like, here's, I won and here's what I learned from it. You're like, boring. Like my favorite, and maybe I'm biased here, like my favorite are like the hero stories where the customer, like, hey, they got a job. Like I didn't get them a job. They got themselves a job. They did things that I helped, I told them to do, or they did, but like they did it. They are the hero. They won. Or stories where you're sharing like, hey, I messed this up, or this didn't go how I expected. Like, this is what I learned from failure. Those are my favorite. And so I think you have a good mix of those where it's like showing up, like this didn't go how I wanted, or here's where I am and it's not great, but here's what's going on. Like that resonates more than, something that somebody copied out of Claude. So
It's the same thing. I'm fine if you use AI to think of ideas. Don't use it to write your post. If you give me a LinkedIn feed, I will tell you every single one that is written by AI because I know, and I'm in a writing field. So the people that spend time on LinkedIn, we all know when you're using AI and we know when you're not. So what's been interesting too for how I come up in search results. So I've had clients tell me, they're like, oh, I just typed in resume writer and you came up. And the people they tell me I came up with have millions of followers on LinkedIn. I am a bib of fish in a very big pond. But my SEO does great because I actually respond to comments. I actually engage with people. I actually create my own content. Just don't copy and paste it from an AI platform. So it's good for idea generation. And that's what I like to do. Or I've even used, like, I call my girl ChatGPT that I pay for on that. But talking about what you know about the resume rescue you've seen online, what do you say? What do I do for a living?
Yeah.
And I've screenshot it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm using that as like an opportunity to think about and then be clear and be transparent and say, hey, I was asking ChatGPT what it said I do, what I do for a living, but I'm not using that as gospel. That's the end all be all. That's what people need to stop doing sometimes.
You touched on another thing that I want to like make a theme for everyone I talk to. Because I have people who have, as few as like 1,000 followers and some who are in like the hundreds of thousands. And I think it doesn't matter. It does to a certain point, but it doesn't. Like some of your stories and some of your time points, like you didn't have the full 22,000 that you have now. You had less than that. But like if you show up in the right way and you're talking to your people, like it will resonate. You don't have to go viral to find that next client or to make an impact in somebody's life. You need to be in the right room, saying the right things to the right people. And I think I've seen that across a bunch of different conversations, and those are the more meaningful ones. Like that's when it feels like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Like I can keep doing this. Like I can keep talking about this sort of stuff because it's helping somebody.
Exactly. And it changes every year, changes every month. So just depends what works.
It'll be different next year, and we'll have this conversation again next year and be like, man, remember 2026? LinkedIn was wild. That was so crazy. Okay. So getting to the end, but I do want to ask this question. What do you see the biggest mistake that people are making on LinkedIn, right? Professionals looking for that next job or who want to move into a new career. What are the biggest mistakes they're making as they're trying to grow their career or find that next role?
Back to basics. Make sure everything is aligned with your resume. Make sure your profile has the right dates, has the right titles. I think the biggest area people sleep on is your headline. So where it will say Angela Buccellato, career coach, resume writer, whatever. Most people, LinkedIn will automatically give you whatever your current job title is in the company you work for. So mine should be CEO of the Resume Rescue, but that's not good SEO. What people aren't typing in CEO, they're typing in resume writer, career coach, LinkedIn expert, recruiter. So that's what my headline says. I think I see it all the time. I actually just saw it before jumping on here too, of someone, business owner, that just has owner at the company she works for. No, you need to optimize that. Yeah. No, it was not you. No, yours is good. No, yours is great. We looked at yours. Come on.
Well, I need to make some updates. No, but like, what does it mean is like, there's too many people when you look at their profile, you ask that question. It shouldn't, like, you need to like instantly like look at it and be like, okay, this is like, don't put like marketing strategist. Like, what does that mean? What is a marketing? Mean? What is that? Like, no, I make marketing dead simple for executives who work in accounting. Like, okay, got it. I know who you're talking to now.
Well, and you actually, from our first conversation, it stuck with me because you said, I went to your profile and I know exactly what you do from the top of your profile. And we're
Yeah.
and
With
I was
that
like,
first line.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly
what
what
you
it should
want.
be. So can people synthesize what you do? Like you said, everyone's a marketing strategist. Everyone's a business owner or whatever that is. And it's what do you differentiate yourself as? So
Right.
like I call myself a career therapist on there. So it's all the facets that are me. And you could be fun with it. It doesn't have to be the stuffy business platform. Talking in first person for your about section. Tell your story. So I'll
Yeah.
also say, I'll give another one on where people go wrong with LinkedIn. Your about section should tell your story. So if you're like, I don't want to write it, when someone asks you, tell me about yourself, record what you would say. Take that and turn it into your about section.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
But people
So
aren't using it enough.
people get stuck in between, like, is this my resume, or is this like, there are parts of it that need to be aligned, as you said, but there are parts of it that need to be authentically you. Okay, so that's gonna like you can have two more if you want, but like my next question would be like, what are two things that someone can do right now to get more out of LinkedIn? Would you say one is the about section as like what I do, or do you want to add two
No,
more?
I'm gonna give you two more. So
Okay,
you get
do it.
4. Okay, 2 more. Engagement.
Okay.
People don't realize LinkedIn over the last few years, I don't remember when they made this update, but I use an empty jar analogy. So you have an empty jar. LinkedIn, think of as an empty jar. Every time you log in, marble in the jar. Every time you make a post, marble in the jar. Every post, every comment, you get what I'm saying. Every action you're doing on LinkedIn is rewarding activity and rewarding your engagement of how people are finding you. So I want you to play it on social media to find a job. Comment on other people's posts. So not just great idea, Mark. I agree. But giving me,
Great
oh,
post.
this was, yeah, great post. But, oh, like you post this podcast, you say, it was so much fun being a guest on the podcast. I really look forward to it. I could tag some people. So you're getting engagement for a potential guest and it just works out. So if you're like, I don't feel good about posting, engage.
Yeah.
Engage with people because you also have to think about your newsfeed is comprised of all of your connections, what they like, what they comment, what they share. So it's not like other platforms, similar to TikTok, yes, where they'll throw you things, see if you like it or not. But it's not like our other feeds that we have tailored to us. It's fun. And it's think about what you engage with. We talked about before we were recording of people that are, I guess we did while we were recording too, just like the toxic positivity. I take the time to hit those little 3 dots on that post and say, I don't want posts like this. I'm not interested in this type of content. So my newsfeed is hilarious, sarcastic, honest individuals, and I enjoy LinkedIn. So
that's awesome.
What you put into it is what you get out of it too.
Yeah. That's really good. So I had a conversation yesterday with somebody and they brought up something really interesting about like, and I think everybody who kind of does this well is going to say some version of the same thing of like engagement and commenting being like the secret sauce of like how to get out there more or a good way to dip your toe into the LinkedIn pool. But he said something I wanted to share with you, which was like, he's a realtor. He's like, I go in and I comment like where my people are. I don't go comment on other realtor posts. I go like, where are my people? And I want like, that's where I'm engaging with that content. And so he helps like military families. He's like, so I go on like, military or veteran related posts. You're not going to see me like comment on somebody else's real estate post. Like I want to show up where my people are so they see me. And I think that's a good way if you're a business owner or if you're somebody who's looking for that job, like go in and where are these companies looking? What are they going to see? Be there.
It's so true. And I love that he's a realtor and active on LinkedIn because I have said it for years that why real estate professionals don't use LinkedIn is beyond me. So I will totally listen to that episode when it comes out because I've said it. It's okay. It's also on that tangent. It's go where your people are.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't make sense. I've tried to be on X, Twitter, whatever we want to call it. Doesn't work for me. I've tried other platforms. Just doesn't work for me. So in something, if I could tell younger me or younger in the business me, it's don't try to do everything at once. But I will say your people are on LinkedIn. It does not matter what field you're in, unless you're in a very, I don't know, skilled trades job that you don't need people, but at your work. But if you're an electrician, have your own company, guess what? Your people are on there. Or I say anything like health and wellness or like my audience isn't on there. I go, oh, I'm sorry. Do you not work with, what do your clients do for a living? They're like, okay, they are corporate executives, so
Yeah.
they are actually on there.
Yeah.
So it's just make it so black and white. It's test it and see. But with the consulting I've done, and I make it clear, I get it. When you're looking for a job, you go to LinkedIn. I got an easy market. But
Yeah.
for some of the clients I've seen in tech, in hardware sales, across the board, it's like your people are there. You just got to post and attract them. That's where people just give up too easily on it.
Yeah. I love it. Oh man. So many knowledge bombs dropped today. I appreciate it. Okay, let's wrap up with 2 people that we should bring on the show that have a great LinkedIn story. Who in your network should we connect to next?
Oh, I have so many, but I will say I'll try
I
to
mean, you
give
can
just
send
2.
all of them, but like, well, let's
Okay.
start with 2.
Jessica Winder. She is
Okay.
like my LinkedIn superhero. She comes from HR. She is like a burn HR down to the ground person. She is an incredible
awesome.
human being. She's got 2 sets of twins under 2. Like my girl works and
Yeah.
she's awesome and so honest. And she speaks even further about the authenticity, what we've talked about majority of this podcast. And she's kicks ass. Sean Hervey was one of the people, both of them have been LinkedIn friends. So all these people I'm giving you, I've met off LinkedIn and some I haven't
Nice.
even met in person yet.
Yeah.
Sean Hervey's a good one. He's in recruiting and he was a lot of my inspiration on LinkedIn years ago when I started because he's just stupid and this is dumb. And it's what the market needed at the time. And he's incredible. Like, I'll give you 3. One
Yeah,
more. And
do
then
it.
Catherine McCord, she comes from recruiting as well, but she focuses more on the neurodivergent individuals.
Okay.
So she slid in my DMs and said, hey, I want to be on your podcast. She invited me to a conference and she is one of my best friends.
That's so great.
I love her and she's
Okay.
super unfiltered. So you'll have 3 really good episodes because
Yes.
they've all been on my podcast and they're all just incredible human beings. So yes.
All right. Well, Angela, thank you so much. This was awesome. Well,
Thank you.
I think you're going to have to be our first repeat guest here in the future.
Yes.
Get some updates since, you took a break from LinkedIn, but you're going to come back and post more frequently. But I appreciate you sharing all your insights and your stories and your actual Angela, not corporate Angela. We need more of that in the world.
Anytime.
But I appreciate it.
having me.
And thanks for joining.